Hello, so we're learning to play Allegro and C. This is the third of 4 videos. So basically each video deals with a different line of the piece. So you should really have the first 2 lines firmly under your belt now before going on to this next video. I'll just play you the first 2 lines and if you're just thinking, no, I've got no clue or I really am not sure about that, not a problem, but you need to go back and just work on the previous 2 videos. So this is what we have so far. Now we're going to move on to our third line. So let's tackle the right hand first of all. So starting up now, a little bit of moving around here, but there's quite, you can see there's a very similar pattern going. So the rhythm is dum bum ba ba bum 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 ba ba bum 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 ba ba bum 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 ba ba bum bum. So the rhythm is almost like a drum part, dum bum. So that's the rhythm there. So let's have a look at the notes. So you're starting up on a G, it goes G, and as we go into bar 9, you play D with your second fingering, with your second finger. So now I'm just going to show you this bit here. So we're going to go from G down to a D, following the patterns, then we're moving down to a B, but still going up to that G. Then we're going from the D again, then moving down to the B. But you'll notice at the top there, we're going to play that high G a lot. Let me just show you that bit. So you need this to begin with. Okay, let's try that. So little finger on G, second on D. And it goes, and then up, up, down, and back to G, okay? I didn't play that very well. Do you notice I've got 2 notes there, but... And I'm trying to make sure I do the phrasing that's written. So making things what we call lightly detached if there's no legato between them. So that first note's on its own. So you don't want it staccato, but you want it to be separate from the D. And then this little bit is legato. So I'll show you what I mean. So those notes, we want those very much to flow together. Ya da 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 bum, ya da da dum bum, ya da da dum bum, ya da da da. Get the feel? So it's dum da 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 dum bum da 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 dum bum da 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 dum bum bum ba da da. So I'll play that through for you. So you put that first note on its own, and then thumb on B, similar pattern. Back to the G, back to the G, thumb on B. Okay, so let's try it with me if you like. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's try one more, and also just let's think about the dynamics. Everything has been forte up to this point. If you look back to the beginning of the music, you can see you've got an F for loud, and then suddenly halfway through this line we're going to go down to mezzo piano, and then in the last line we're going to have a crescendo where we gradually bring things louder again with a nice loud ending. So the way that would work, start loud, and this one's loud as well, then you go quiet. Now, I'm going to put a little extra note on the end, which will just set us up for the next bit. We're just going to go down to G at the end. You can see it at the end of the third line. So we've got this. Then it's quiet. And then, so instead of doing a G, you do a G, but you do it down here. So this is the last bit. One more, and we're going to tackle the left hand. So 1, 2, 3. Quiet. And that's it. Let's have a look at the left hand part now. Let's just get this under first of all. It's a fairly simple run, which is going to go dum, note, da da, note, and note, and note, and then it gets bit more complicated, we'll look at that in a sec. So the note's a simple one, it's B, isn't it? There's middle C, there's B, 4th finger. So it doesn't say otherwise, you're going to go 4, 3, 2, thumb. So, with that in mind, so that you put the first one in there, okay? And then keep going. Get the idea, okay? One more. If you can, make those notes separate. It's quite hard, so you'll find yourself just doing it really smoothly, which will sound okay, but those notes are not slurred, so we want them what we call lightly detached. But that's smooth. So you'll notice there's some definite breaks in there. So that's the legato in the right, then it's all broken. Now you could leave those notes on longer strictly, but let's just see what they sound like. But I think it's quite nice to keep it just a bit more. Now, we've got a fancy bit coming up. Let's have a look. Suddenly, we're going to go into quavers in the left hand. Now, you see the pattern is similar because we were going B, C, D, E. And it's still there, B, C, D, E, but we're going to put the little finger on G between each one, apart from the last one where we're going to go E to E, E to E. Let me show you what I mean. So, the first time we did this, and then second time, you're going to go. Okay, so there's various fingering. You could do your third on there. It doesn't actually say. Now, instead of, you'll want to put a G on the end there, like I just did by accident. But it's actually, you're going to drop down an octave just in the last one. Looking at the fingering, we could try and do it so it matches what we do in the first bit. So that was the first bit. So try the same fingering. Don't forget the E on the end, okay? Now, how's that going to work then? So the first bit goes like this. Then quiet. Too bad, is it? I'll do one more. I'm going to do it really slow. 4 there. Loud. Quiet. Now. G. G. D. E. And there we have it. So remember, at your choice on the fingering here, you could go. You could stick with the 4 on there, like you had at the beginning of the line. Okay. So one last time, 1, 2, 3, and